Time for a twins pod.
Then I'm getting sucked off.
Yeah. Scandal around him right now, right?
Yeah, well, we got a few viral topics that we're going to go over today, get your perspective on it. A few things that y'all haven't covered either, so I would love to just see your perspective on these things. And yeah, definitely Jordan Peterson, he's been making the rounds lately with a lot of crazy stuff that he's been saying, but he hasn't always been like this. Jordan Peterson, to me, is
He's an intelligent guy. Yeah,
he is. To me, it's very disappointing because he used to be a voice for the voiceless. He used to have like a lot of great insight and a lot of great speeches, viral speeches, like this one right here, for instance.
Look around and see what bugs you in your room. Do I like this room? No, it bugs me. Why? It's dusty there and the carpet's dirty and that corner's kind of ugly and the light there isn't very good. Okay, pick a problem. Pick a solution to it that you know would help, that you could do, that you would do. Would you clean one drawer? Find out. Pick something and fix it. And so then all of a sudden you get all these things in order. It's like, oh, look at this. I've got some room to play here. Then maybe you're not depressed.
So he's got that good advice, clean your room, forget about your
stoicism.
Stoicism, exactly. And, good advice here, especially.
Things get to terrible places one tiny step at a time. If I encroach on you and I'm sophisticated about it, I'm going to encroach 2 millimeters. I'm going to encroach right to the point where you start to protest. Then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to wait. Then you're going to calm down. Then I'm going to encroach again right to the point where you protest. Then I'm going to stop. Then I'm going to wait. And I'm just going to do that forever. And before you know it, you're going to be back 3 miles from where you started, and you'll have done it one step at a time. And then you'll go, oh, how'd I get here? And the answer was, well, I pushed you a little farther than you should have gone, and you agreed. And so then I pushed you a little farther than you should have gone again, and you agreed. And if anybody's interested in this sort of process, and this is a horrifying book, if you want to read about how this process works, you can read a book called Ordinary Men by Robert Brown. Things get to...
So what do y'all think about that insight? What do you think about his advice, his classic stuff?
I always seen him as like a father figure.
Yeah.
Right? And an intelligent guy, and it's someone young men can look up to. Yeah. Right? So what exactly did he say that got him in a lot of hot water?
So he's gone from being that guy, that really important guy with the important voice and inspiring stuff, to pretty much since October 7th. Okay, here we go. Here comes the Palestinian. Pretty much, since October 7th, all he really does is cry and shill for Israel. So here's his latest.
Oh, really?
Yeah, here's his latest crying spat, and then I'm going to show you some of the more reckless things that he said when it comes to Christianity.
Oh, okay.
So here he is on Piers Morgan in his latest crying fit.
Because if you tell the truth, what should happen as a consequence of the truth makes itself manifest in the world. And that's the best possible outcome. But it's also the most adventurous thing that you can do, the most exciting thing you can do, hands down. There's nothing that compares to it. That pathway of maximal responsibility, voluntary responsibility, and truth. And I understand that deeply at a religious level.
See, it's unfortunate.
He just lost his father too, right? I know he lost his father a little while back.
Okay, and I don't want to make fun of him for this too, but he's had a dependency on SSRIs and benzos and pretty bad drug dependency. And I don't want to make fun of him for that, but it seems like his emotions, his serotonin, he cries at the drop of a hat. It's just weird.
I didn't know that about him.
Yeah,
he had a drug dependency?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Benzos. His daughter goes into a lot of talking about it. Let's hear him again here with Piers Morgan.
Symbolic world on which our
Look at Piers.
productive and peaceful culture was properly founded. And I've seen the effect of communicating that to people, thousands of people. And it's a great privilege to serve that role, but it's also overwhelming. I think it is.
Do you know how uncomfortable this is?
Maybe I was ill for quite a long time, and I think that was part of the reason. Just seeing this, this malaise, so.
Okay, he's saying a lot of words. What the hell is he talking about? I don't
even know what the hell he's talking about, but it's just sort of the perspective now is he's just like this crying, unstable dude.
Yeah, he used to be this strong, stern dude.
Yeah.
Concise. You would never see him crying or anything.
It's kind of, ever since he hooked up with Daily Wire, he's changed. And here's the big thing that I wanted to show y'all. His opinions on Christ is King.
Uh-oh.
A very special phrase that you guys like, too. You get your
I'm wearing it on my shirt right now.
Get your Christ is King shirts at officialhodgetwins.com. Show him who the king is. But Jordan Peterson has an issue with Christ is King, and let him tell you himself.
Well, I think the most important thing to do first is to draw a distinction between the political and the psychological, and not to collapse them together. So imagine this. Imagine that there's a group of individuals, about 4% of the population, who have a set of personality characteristics that have been described as dark tetrad. So they're Machiavellian. They use their language to manipulate. They're narcissistic. They want unearned social status and reputation. They're psychopathic, which makes them free of empathy and parasitical and predatory. And they're sadistic. So they take positive delight in the unnecessary suffering of others. Now, those people also use false cries of victimization, let's say, to manipulate, and they're entitled. They seek vengeance when it's unwarranted, and they protest loudly and make very public cries for reparations that would be self-serving. Okay, now the way those people operate is they look for what patterns of belief form groups that they can infiltrate and then capitalize on. And that happens on the right. We did a report, the same group, on the use of Christ as King as a manipulative strategy by bad actors, hypothetically.
How can you be a bad actor when you say Christ is King? It's impossible.
Jordan Peterson apparently thinks that you're a bad actor, that you're using it in a bad way. And he goes on.
I mean, looking back on the past of America, like there was a lot of Christians that did a lot of horrible things to people, but the phrase "Christ is King," I don't care what context. Well, I guess if I'm a racist person, I say Christ is King, and I'm burning a cross in front of somebody's front yard, I can see how it could.
And you saying down with like Jews or whatever, I could see it being detrimental and not good, but just saying Christ is King. Christ himself, he was a Jew.
Yeah. So you think it's almost like a na kind of thing when people say Christ is King? Is that what Jordan Peterson's trying to say?
Well, that's how Jewish people see it, because that's my religion. Like when they do that religion, whatever they say, whatever they believe in, they're like na to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I think Christians have a right to exist, Jewish people have a right to exist, and Muslims have a right to exist.
Yeah.
That's the way I see it.
Just because my faith, Christ is King, that's not to be derogatory because you have a different faith, a different religion, a different God.
Yeah, and I just think it's weird how they tell
that's
you...
That's censoring speech.
Yeah, and they tell you how to worship Christ, which is a little weird. He keeps going.
Right, and this report identified the same sort of people on the left. But it's not primarily political. They're wolves in sheep's clothing.
So who's he talking about here? He's talking about just anybody that...
I think he's talking about the left. I would think.
Actually, I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
Yeah, because I haven't heard anybody... Like, only a Jewish person would say Christ is King is anti-Semitic. Only they would say that. They're the only ones putting forth this argument.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking he might be talking about people on the left, but that term Christ is King is not anti-Semitic. It's what Christians believe in.
Well, it's what Jewish people think is anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but that word doesn't belong to them. Also, there's Semitic people are Muslims.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Why do they get this? Why it just comes from them, though, the Jews? I don't hear Muslims saying this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you could say, like, being against Muslims, you could be considered anti-Semitic.
Right.
Right? But
deaf to all Muslims, deaf to all Jews, that's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, but it's only anti-Semitic when you use it towards a Jew. When you say it to a Muslim, it's like Jews took that word and own it now, and it no longer applies to Muslims.
Yeah.
Which they are Semitic people as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels like they want to own the word. They want to own Semite, just like when they want to own Christ as King now. And here's Candace Owens reacting to it. She gives a pretty good breakdown.
Okay. Look at the list of the people who were part of the study. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 individuals who took place in this study.
So this right here, they created a whole press release with this new 4-letter agency that they created, NCRI. And they're literally breaking down with a bunch of scholars that you can see right here why Christ as King is anti-Semitic. And Candace,
that's crazy.
Yeah, Candace Owens tells you who these people actually are.
The first principal investigator there that you have, Dr. Lee Jussum, is Jewish. Dr. Jordan Peterson has said he does not believe in Christ. We're going to get to him in a second. So he's unknown, I guess we could say, an atheist perhaps. Reverend Dr. Johnny Moore, who I would refer to as the token Christian because he's the only one, and he's the one that retweeted this study and got this going this morning. We're going to speak more about him. Then we have Dr. Joel Finkelstein, who is Jewish. We have Jacob Zucker, who is Jewish. We have Danit Sarah Finkelstein, who is Jewish. We have Sonia Yanofsky, who is Jewish. We have Alex Goldenberg, who is Jewish. We have Ohad Fadida, who is Jewish. We have Gideon Furher, who we checked, and he is Jewish. We have Simon Lazarus, who is Jewish. And the last two, Anisa Jagdeep and Ankita Jagdeep, are presumably Hindu, but they are Indian. So it says this is a study that was funded by Jews to make Christians war with one another during the Lenten season. That is problematic to me.
It's not funded by the Jews. The Jews get all that money from America.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy, though, how Jews are telling you that Christ as King is anti-Semitic?
After we funded them, gave them all the weapons to protect themselves, now they dictating what is anti-Semitic to Americans?
Man, that's this nation's religion. It's Christian.
And I don't know why Christians is putting up with this.
Well, they're God's chosen
Well,
people.
United States of Israel.
It's going to be that way. It's going in that direction. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's it's a pretty troubling development, especially when you have people like Jordan Peterson just completely all in on it.
Yeah. Jordan Peterson, he's getting a lot of heat over this, huh?
He is. He kind of got blown up all over Twitter. People really coming at him heavy in disagreement. And,
I'm not surprised he's taking this side because of who he's affiliated with, Daily Wire.
Yeah.
It's a Jewish network.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It's almost like since he started working for Daily Wire, he kind of switched up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. It's where he took like years of branding himself, making a name for himself. Mm-hmm. And now look, it's like you can destroy that in like overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can.
It's messed up. I'm just looking forward, or not really looking forward, but looking in anticipation to like what he's going to say next, what kind of crusade, no pun intended, that he's going to go on next.
Right.
Yeah.
You think he's being manipulated? Maybe he's because he's you said he had a drug dependency. Maybe he's coming off of that, and those people are very fragile, no matter how intelligent you are.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense too. That makes sense.
Because him emotional, it looks like he's going through withdrawals.
He has no control over his emotions as a man. That's a huge red flag.
And it's the antithesis of all the other stuff that he used to preach.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Strength, power.
Yeah.
Be manly.
Yeah. People always, especially people on the left, they always said he was an angry person. He looks anything but angry now.
Yeah. Well, he's angry at Christians, it seems.
Yeah. Crying.
Crying. All kinds of stuff, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I came across a clip on Facebook. I was reading. I said, "Wow, that was an unusual take. I wouldn't expect this from him." And I was reading the comments, and it was like 99% didn't agree with him. Just goes to show you, no matter how smart and intelligent you are, you're only human.
Yeah, well, people don't want their faith to be questioned, and people who are of faith and are, really down with it and really serious about it don't want to be told how to worship either.
Yeah. The only religion that doesn't put up with this bull crap is the Muslims.
Oh, yeah. They
Christians get kicked around all over the globe, and we don't say anything.
We need a Christian jihad. No, I'm kidding. We got to bring the Templar Knights back. Is what we need.
You know what? Y'all like that last Ram we gave away? Yeah. So we got us another one. Check this Ram out. 2500 heavy duty turbo diesel Ram. RAM or Ram. It's got all kinds of ram action. Yeah, I love this ram. You can really ram something with this. What color is this, graphite? That is white supremacist graphite right there. Got a good handle on it. See that handle? Built like a tank, but it drives like a race car. Go to officialhardswings.com. Anything you buy from the site get you automatically in a win. Yeah. No purchase necessary. Going where prohibited. See official rules for details. Yeah.